King Tommen Baratheon memorably jumped to his death in Game of Thrones Season 6, but a number of different factors played a part in his suicide. King Tommen Baratheon's death in Game of Thrones Season 6 finale may have been by his own hand, but Tommen's suicide was sparked by circumstances beyond the sudden death of his wife. Tommen emerged as the heir to the Iron Throne shortly after his brother's death, but the pressures of his family and the surrounding tension among Westerosi powers eventually got the best of the young king. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and also click on the notification bell to remain updated. Tommen's death came in episode 10 of season 6, and is one of the most tragic ends for a Game of Thrones character. Tommen looked as though he could have been a nice change from Joffrey when he took the throne. He had previously shown more compassion than anyone else in his family, even toward the black sheep of House Lannister, his uncle Tyrion. However, while his intentions as king might have been good, he was still just a small boy who was afraid and unsure, leading to him being manipulated by anyone who could get their claws into him. This especially included his family members like Cersei and his grandfather Tywin Lannister. Over time, he also became a pawn to Margaery Tyrell and the High Sparrow. Without any sense to look out for himself or see the threat surrounding him, it's not much of a surprise that Tommen's reign as king on Game of Thrones was short-lived, but that didn't make Tommen's death any less shocking. In many ways, the moment Tommen commits suicide felt inevitable. Almost everyone who encountered Tommen in Game of Thrones manipulated him in some way. Margaery seduced him when he was in a vulnerable state, while his mother also tried to keep control of him. Even the High Sparrow knew he was a gullible young man who could be used to push the faith of the Seven. Of course, the death of Margaery resulted in an immense amount of grief, but this played second fiddle to the trauma of growing up a Lannister. Tommen had recently lost his only siblings, and those deaths occurred shortly after the death of his supposed father, Robert Baratheon. The fact that his mother knowingly killed thousands of innocent people in King's Landing, including the woman he loved, was unfathomable for Tommen. With the realization that his newfound faith was a lie and that he had nobody left to turn to, the young king felt like he had no other option but to end his own life. It definitely made for one of the most abrupt deaths throughout Game of Thrones. An ominous prophecy shown in Game of Thrones Season 5 was fulfilled by Tommen's death. In the premiere episode of Season 5, a flashback is shown during which Cersei seeks out the help of a witch named Maggie the Frog. After demanding that the woman predict her future, the witch wins her a harrowing tale that ends up shaping Cersei's backstory and prophecy. She states, "The king will have 20 children, you will have 3. Gold will be their crowns, and gold their shrouds." In life, the only thing that Cersei Lannister really cares about is her children, meaning that they will be what is taken away. The deaths of all 3 of her and Jaime's children ultimately fulfills the prophecy, and their shrouds are, in fact, golden. In the Game of Thrones books, Maggie the Frog also predicts that Jaime could be the one to kill Cersei in the future, but this never comes to pass. Ultimately, the moment Tommen commits suicide fulfilled this prophecy, and in extremely upsetting circumstances befitting the tone of Game of Thrones. In terms of the reactions to Tommen's death, Chapman was particularly surprised by how Cersei took the news. After her emotional breakdown at having lost Joffrey and Myrcella, Chapman jokes that he was a little offended that Cersei seemed uncaring about the death of her remaining son and simply pushed past it on her way to the throne. While it is easy to dismiss Cersei as cold-hearted at this moment, it suggests Tommen's death hit her harder than the other children as she had no more grief to give and even signals a more ruthless change in her. It also suggests that, given that her actions led to Tommen killing herself, she couldn't admit to herself that she was devastated. Looking at the legacy Tommen left behind, Chapman's main concern was for Ser Pounce, Tommen's beloved pet cat. Though Ser Pounce is never seen again in the series following Tommen's death, Chapman hopes the cat was able to live happily in the Red Keep and find another cat to have kittens with. While it is a nice thought, hopefully Ser Pounce left King's Landing before Daenerys arrived in Game of Thrones Season 8. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and drop comments. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything.